When I get into office, the first thing we have to do, social media accounts, social media companies, they have to show America their algorithms. Let us see why they're pushing what they're pushing. The second thing is every person on social media should be verified by their name. That's, first of all, it's a national security threat. When you do that, all of a sudden people have to stand by what they say, and it gets rid of the Russian bots, the Iranian bots, and the Chinese bots. And then you're going to get some civility when people know their name is next to what they say.
Accountability.
And they know their pastor and their family member is going to see it. It's going to help our kids, and it's going to help our country.
That's bad. That's just bad. I have never seen anyone commit political seppuku as fast as that. That was Nikki Haley. She was talking to Harris Faulkner, and wow. I totally disagree with that. And I say this as somebody who's probably been targeted more than the average bear by anonymous trolls online. Welcome back to the program. Dana Lash here with you. And we're at the bottom of this first hour. And that is, I had tweeted this just literally. I mean, I saw this, I guess it was last night I saw this last night, her soundbite. And my first thought was, well, that's not really how free speech works. Secondly, though, and I think that this is incredibly important to note, you don't deal with a society's tone by using more government. You don't take a broken government to try to fix a broken society. If it's a discussion of civility in the public square, that is an issue with society. That is an issue with how we treat each other. You're not going to fix that through government regulation. And I am hardcore against this. My husband and I actually disagree on this issue. And he can be wrong 6 ways to Sunday because he's totally wrong. The same reasons that she's citing there are literally the exact same reasons that this administration cited when they were creating, what was it, their truth thing? Yeah. I can't remember. That one chick who was a theater, like all the annoying theater kids put into one person. That Nina Yankowicz lady, wasn't that what her name was?
The Truth Council?
Oh, yes, Truth Council or Truth whatever. Or I don't even remember what it's called. It was such a nightmare. But that's
Ministry of Truth.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much. I mean, that's like, that's pretty accurate, I think. I mean, and I love how her team on Twitter, I know, I saw this too. It says, we're taking names. I'm like, yeah, you are. Yeah, but not in the way, that's some slogan. Imagine what she just said. Imagine telling that to the founders in the days of, Harrington or Publius or Silence Do Good. Silence Do Good. Imagine telling them that back in the day, because the founders, when they were writing the Federalist Papers and even the anti-Federalist Papers and putting forth these very provocative arguments, they did so using pen names, or they just did it anonymously. They would have like a country farmer or, a country federalist, or they would just use these anonymous names. And Alexander Hamilton and John Madison, all of them, Patrick Henry, they all used anonymous. They wrote anonymously. And it was only later that it was found out who wrote what. I mean, imagine telling that to the founders back in those days. There's a difference between trolling someone and putting forward provocative arguments. But I would even say, and again, I say this as someone, I've had my address put online. I've had people I've had death threats online. I've been targeted more than the average bear. And I still don't think, I'm still 1,000,000% against government regulation of stuff like this. You cannot have the government tell these companies, well, you're going to put your name online. You're going to have your name go with it. I mean, it's not a free speech position. And it's not in keeping with the way that our country was founded either. It just really isn't. I just can't believe, and she just kept doubling down on this. And then she tried to walk it back a little bit. Hey, where's this at? Audio, soundbite. Well, there's a couple. 18. I have so much audio. Let's do audio soundbite 18 because she was trying to walk this back. Listen.
We need our social media companies to verify everybody so that we can get all of those.
So you're not really saying that people can't tweet I mean,
But that's bad enough because you see what it's doing to our kids and bullying and everything else.
Do I think life would be more civil if we were able to do that? Yes. It's the same reason why I think doxing, like, you should stand by what you say. But no, like, if you can have anonymous, I don't mind anonymous American people having free speech. Okay. What I don't like is anonymous Russians and Chinese and Iranians having free speech.
How would the conversation?
Okay, how do you even implement something like that? How is that even workable? That's just goofy. I mean, has she never heard of a damn VPN? Does she not understand how those work? How do VPNs work?
Check yes or no. Are you American?
Yeah, I want everybody's name. I want everyone's name. Are you? That's not going to work. You're talking about fixing a societal tone with big government. I mean, that sounds awfully China-rific, if I'm being honest. We had. I love what one listener said. You make a political post with an unregistered Twitter account, believe it or not, jail right away. I mean, we have some of the best social media posts in the world because of jail. AKA instigator. Literally insta, G-A-T-O-R, I love it. But it's true. I mean, that argument, it's a bad argument. Tone is a societal problem, and the remedy is not found in more government. I just don't get my jimmies rustled over people who talk smack online. If I did, I would be upset all the time, every single day. If people are so upset about this stuff to the point where they feel like government has to come in to regulate it, you need to seriously go and touch grass. Because not everything online doesn't translate to real life. If that's true, AOC would have a hell of a lot more influence than she does in real life. It doesn't move the needle as much as you think it does. It is greatly exaggerated because everybody spends their time there. It's where everybody goes to have their hot take. Can you actually be seen in society without your hot take? Are you participating in society if you don't come with your hot take? I mean, that's how stupid it is. But no, I don't think so. I think that's dumb. You can't, and to say it's a national security threat, that's legit the exact same argument this administration used to try to go after people on social media, to try to go after conservatives on social media. It's a serious issue. And it's weird to hear her make this argument. I mean, it's not, because she's kind of always been, there's a reason why a lot of us we're not super excited about her presidential campaign. I mean, it's when you're trolling, you're just saying mean things online. I mean, there's things that are protected speech and not protected speech. Death threats and things like that, that's not considered protected speech. But we got to be really, really careful. The left are the people who say words are violence. We are not those people. We are not the words are violence people, because that is what the left says to justify their control of speech. We do not do the same thing. That's not who we are. It's just to hear her say that and to push it like that. And she keeps doubling down on it. It's weird because she doesn't even use her real name online. Uh-oh. Now, that's not all, because that was a spectacular face plant. But wait, there's more with the purchase of one slap chop. So, she said this, audio soundbite 14. This is just dumb.
What happens, he comes out of the gate, he hits the female chair of the party, he hits the female anchor on the platform, and then he hits me. And I'm not saying anything.
I ain't saying, I'm just saying.
But he might have a girl problem. I'm just saying he might have a girl problem.
In case she forgot, she's a woman. And that apparently gives her more credibility in this race than others because they don't have vaginas. Right? Oh, you lowered taxes and you actually barred the CCP purchase of land in your state? Vagina. So you can see why, in addition to her, we've all known this. That's why one of the reasons why I've never been on that Haley train for president, because we know all this stuff, right? I mean, I could sit here and get into how one of her biggest donors is this big firearm biometric, company. And I got some questions about their lobbying as it relates to firearm rights, Second Amendment rights. I got a lot of questions. And it's perfectly justifiable. It's not anything personal. It's a business of the country, right? I don't want somebody talking about limiting my speech. I don't want to see people, discuss and try to put a conservative spin on the policies of the Biden administration. That's just wild to me. And there's no way. The only thing that's going to save her now with the sound bites, the only thing that's going to save her now with this is if she comes out and says, you know what, I really thought about it and I was wrong. I was wrong to have this position. I understand the concept of free speech is what this country was built on, that our founders, when arguing the principles of this country that later formed the Constitution of the United States, they argued anonymously. Some might, and you can sit here and also have that's the only thing, that's the only way that she's going to get out of this. You can say too, and try to put a caveat on what is allowed and what isn't allowed, as with disagreement and trolling. But remember, Republicans, conservatives have been clawing for every inch of speech. Orwell said the revolution is complete when the language is perfect, and the left has been trying to classify mere disagreement on issues as hate speech. If you, a woman listening, believes that a guy can't chop off his schlong and become a woman, you expressing that by many people on the left is considered hate speech. And vice versa. If you're a man listening and you hear that a woman takes some meat off of her thigh and fashions a frankenpenis together and wants to call herself a dude, and if you express disagreement with that, that is hate speech. This is what I'm talking about. So when you can't even put the flag of victory on the hill of those narrative arguments, why in the world are you entertaining the idea of giving the government that is run by these people authority over what people can say and how they can express it online? That is not a conservative place to be. That is not a conservative proposal. It's not a conservative position. It is not a conservative or constitutionalist argument, and it betrays the very spirit of the founding of this country. It is anti-American. And no candidate for any office, especially one running for Republican, should ever consider this idea, much less propose it.